Chapter 14, 77. Copper Dragonfish. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. This immortal goo looked like a cicada. Its head and stomach were brown and yellow. There were tree bark rings on its surface. The wings on its back were huge. They were translucent and resembled two overlapping tree leaves. It was emitting rank 6 immortal goo aura at all times. It was the rank 6 time path, immortal goo spring-autumn cicada. The current spring-autumn cicada was sealed by Fang Yuan within the immortal zombie body's aperture. Its body was warm and shiny. Its wings were green like fresh leaves. This showed that spring-autumn cicada had completely recovered. It could be used already. If it was right after rebirth, spring-autumn cicada's body would have no shininess. It would be dark and withered like rotting wood. Its wings would be yellow like the wilting leaves of autumn. The tips of its wings would curl up and look like fallen leaves. Spring's autumn. Cicada had a huge background. It was the immortal goo created by one of the 10 venerables in human history. Red Lotus, Demon Venerable, personally. It was also his vital goo. It had an important status. Its effect was to let a goo immortal sacrifice everything they had as fuel to move in the river of time, carrying their will upstream towards the past, spring-autumn. Cicada's ability was incredible, but it had a major flaw too. The owner of spring-autumn cicada would have their luck weakened at all times. Simply speaking, spring-autumn cicada attracted bad luck. At this moment, Fang Yuan looked at spring-autumn cicada with complex emotions. It had been with him since his previous life. Without spring-autumn cicada, there would not be Fang Yuan. There was a question: which immortal goo had the biggest significance to a goo immortal? This question's answer varied among people. Every goo immortal had their own answer. But Fang Yuan only had one answer. It was spring-autumn cicada. Forget about his past life. Looking at his current life. Qingmao Mountain, Three Kings Blessed Land, Yitian Mountain, spring-autumn. Cicada displayed its might each time. It was Red Lotus Demon Venerable's vital goo indeed. Fang Yuan managed to turn the situation around and escape from danger each time. But after the Battle of Yitian Mountain, he had lost spring-autumn cicada. Even though Fang Yuan regained spring-autumn cicada later, it was filled with heaven's will, and he could not use it anymore. Fang Yuan left the control of heaven's will and became its enemy. The spring-autumn cicada filled with heaven's will was completely unusable to Fang Yuan. To displace spring-autumn cicada's ability again, Fang Yuan would need to get rid of the heaven's will within. If not, even if he tried to rebirth, heaven's will would directly kill him. Now let me see how this move works, Fang Yuan muttered as bright light shone in his eyes. Immortal killer, move heaven's will. Dissipation. After some preparation, Fang Yuan's body was covered in a gray-white light. Next, he used his hand that was covered in the gray-white light to touch the immortal zombie body. Oh no, the gray-white light was like flowing water. It flowed down from his body and arm to cover the entire immortal zombie body. The gray-white light lasted for a while before changing. Eyes appeared in the gray-white light. These eyes were multicolored, resembling a rainbow. They first appeared around Fang Yuan's palm before they increased in numbers and spread to the surroundings. Soon, these multicolored eyeballs covered the immortal zombie body. They blinked as they changed colors with each blink. Next, the multicolored eyeballs spread towards the aperture. Eventually, spring-autumn cicada's surface was covered by a small layer of colored eyeballs. The colored eyeballs blinked continuously. Each time they blinked, it was an attack against heaven's will. Spring-autumn. Cicada started to shake. The multicolored eyeballs were created and destroyed continuously. Fang Yuan continued to expend his red date immortal essence to allow an unceasing stream of multicolored eyeballs to grow. Spring-autumn. Cicada started to shake intensely. After a while of shaking, Fang Yuan saw that spring-autumn cicada's surface had a mild crack. His heart sank as he quickly stopped the killer move. Gah! His body shook like he was zapped by lightning. He had stopped the move too quickly. Fang Yuan was injured from it. But this mild injury could not compare to the safety of spring-autumn cicada. Fang Yuan ignored his injuries. He quickly checked his spring-autumn cicada. The crack on spring-autumn cicada was not evident, but Fang Yuan had a vigilant nature. The moment it appeared, he noticed it. The crack meant that spring-autumn cicada was injured. Almost all goo worms were fragile, be they rank 6, 7, or even 9. Even if spring-autumn cicada was Red Lotus Demon Venerable's vital goo, it was no exception. After inspecting it, Fang Yuan's expression was solemn. Heaven's will. Fang Yuan gritted his teeth. Autumn cicada's injury was not severe. Because he had discovered it early, such a mild injury was easy to handle. But he could not continue using Heaven's will dissipation. At this rate, cracks would enlarge and increase in numbers. Spring-autumn cicada would be destroyed. Heaven's will's influence on spring-autumn cicada was far deeper and more severe than Fang Yuan had expected. Fang Yuan thought about it for a moment and found his solutions. He had two ways now. One was to continue modifying Immortal Killer movie Heaven's Will dissipation until it could get rid of Heaven's Will without harming spring-autumn cicada. The second was to use Shadow Sex method, using refinement path methods to refine spring-autumn cicada before reverse refining it. During this process, he would get rid of the Heaven's Will. These two methods were flawed. Modifying Heaven's Will. Dissipation was quite hard. The truth was, it was not easy for Fang Yuan to deduce Heaven's Will dissipation. It was near his limit. It was not impossible to continue progressing in this aspect, but he would need to spend a huge amount of time, effort, and resources. And Shadow Sex goo refinement method was only a concept. It was hard to execute in real life. Heaven's Will had such a huge influence on spring-autumn cicada, along with the risk that came with goo refinement. As long as it wreaked havoc, accidents would occur during the refinement process. It seems that I need to combine both methods. That would be the safest method. Fang Yuan thought about it. He decided to go ahead with both ways. Fang Yuan moved quickly, coming to Wisdom Goo. I'll rely on you. Wisdom Goo flew around Fang Yuan before emitting the light of wisdom. Bathing in the light of wisdom, Fang Yuan easily used many wisdom path methods. Thoughts moved in his mind like huge waves. Countless thoughts were produced and destroyed. They collided and created major fireworks. Red Date Immortal Essence was expended rapidly. Fang Yuan's forehead was soon covered in sweat. The difficulty of the deduction was huge. It was evident from Fang Yuan's tightly knitted brows. 15 minutes, 30 minutes. After 2 hours, Fang Yuan stopped. He let out a breath of air. His expression was pale. He had given it his all in his deduction. His brain was hurting now. His soul had turned dim. His vision also turned dark. After resting for some time, Fang Yuan recovered and used the light of wisdom for deductions again. The deduction was very difficult. His wisdom path Grandmaster attainment level was useless here. It was beyond his current capability. Fang Yuan was forcefully using the light of wisdom to break through. But Fang Yuan had a determined personality. He refused to give up. He had no such thoughts of backing down. He even placed his soul path cultivation and killer move practice aside. He placed all his time and energy into the wisdom path deduction. Even without any sleep or rest, working as hard as he could, progress was slow. No, but Fang Yuan persevered. It is fine as long as there is progress, even if a day has little progress. What if I spend days, tens of days, or even months on this? With such determination and perseverance, Fang Yuan went on to tackle this problem head-on. During this period, his Dragonfish business was starting to find a breakthrough. Sovereign Immortal Aperture, Dragon Scale Sea Area. Countless dragonfish formed into groups as they swam in the sea. Dragonfish looked like red carps, but much larger. Desolate beast dragonfish had even larger bodies. They were giants in the sea. But the battle strength of the dragonfish was bottom tier, nothing of value. After this period of breeding, a special type of dragonfish had appeared in Fang Yuan's dragon scale sea area. This dragonfish was smaller than normal dragonfish. At the same time, the scales were a bit dimmer, having a metallic luster to it, resembling red copper. The copper dragonfish has finally been bred. Fang Yuan inspected it and felt satisfied. Dragonfish were not a natural life form. They were created by a food path goo immortal. The person who created the dragonfish was none other than the beastman who created food path itself. Fang Yuan obtained the inheritance of this beastman, goo immortal, from Shadow Sect. He had a deep understanding of dragonfish. The dragonfish in the market might have food path Dao marks, but they also had a mix of Dao marks from countless other paths. But if he used the method in the inheritance to breed them, after many generations, a higher quality breed of dragonfish would come about. Like the copper dragonfish, it was a new species superior to normal dragonfish. What created this situation was the food path immortal goo formation that Fang Yuan had set up painstakingly. Fang Yuan saw that there were a lot of copper dragonfish. He placed a portion of them into Treasure Yellow Heaven. If I had just started the dragonfish business, this small quantity of copper dragonfish would not gain any attention. But earlier, I had already started selling dragonfish and even received Yuchan's counterattack. The other goo immortals all know that I am in this business now. Heh. Fang Yuan thought of this and laughed. He did not need to guess to know that these copper dragonfish would create a huge commotion when they enter Treasure Yellow Heaven. Oh, Yu Chan, this is my true trump card. How will you deal with it? Fang Yuan thought expectantly to himself.